Okay, so the next one is a little more advanced. You want to keep your heels and toes touching, and again, making sure that you ground yourself into the ground. Push into your heels, pull up with your kneecaps, and suck your stomach in. This one's a little more advanced, so if you can, keep your knees locked. If not, that's totally fine. Again, this is your practice, and it's called practice because it takes time to actually move forward in the postures. That's totally okay. So lock your knees, suck your stomach in, bend forward. You want to grab your heels with both hands, all 5 fingers of each hand, so even your thumb. That's really important because your thumb is your strongest digit. Grab your heels from behind and pull on your heels to elongate your spine and bring your body down towards the floor. Sucking in your stomach and keeping your head long. Your goal is to keep your stomach on your thighs, and your chest on your knees, and your face on your legs below the knees. So I'll show you what it looks like from the front, and then I'll show you what it looks like from behind, even though I set up the mirror so you guys can kind of see while I do it. Okay, sucking the stomach in, grabbing your heels from behind, nice and tight grip. Straightening your legs if you can. If you can't and you have to have a slight bend, that's totally fine. Drop your head down, touching your legs, breathing into it. Okay, you want to do that for 30 seconds. You can count in your head or put a timer on. From the side, it's going to look like this. As you get more advanced, or if your hamstrings are pretty flexible, you can begin to think shoulders away from your ears, so you're elongating your neck, face against your legs. You actually want to press your face against the legs, keeping the stomach sucked in, and wiggling your hands closer together in the back to touch. So you really want to get your elbows against your calf muscles and your baby fingers touching side by side. That's the goal. Takes time. Don't feel bad about yourself. When I first started Hatha Yoga, I was a wreck, so don't worry too much. The next one in the sequence is going to be forehead to the ground with your legs spread open. So it's going to start out like this. You keep your heels and toes touching whenever you're in between postures. That's just to make sure that you're standing erect, making sure you're having good posture. This is a standing posture anyways, the standing savasana. Gives your body a break. So the next one, you can bring your arms up over your head if you want to. If you don't want to, that's fine. You're gonna take a big step, about 3 feet, 36 inches wide. Keeping your toes pigeon-toed slightly. If you have sciatica at all, then keep your feet pointing straight forward. On this one, it is imperative to keep your knees locked by pulling up on the quadricep muscle. So don't skip that part on this one. It's very important to protect the lower back. You also want to suck in your stomach really tightly. For me, I don't have sciatica thanks to yoga. So I'm gonna pigeon toe my toes in slightly. I'm gonna suck my stomach in. My arms are gonna be parallel to the floor. Arms are slightly back, so your chest is very forward. So you wanna think sternum forward, okay? Chin is also forward, no tucking, no up, just forward. And as you swan dive, suck the stomach in, lock your knees, and slowly go down, looking forward until you get to the bottom. Again, grab your heels from behind, stepping on each hand, all 5 fingers of each hand. Also use your thumbs on this one, okay? Suck the stomach in, grab your heels, and then try to get your forehead to the floor. If you're really far away, I'll show you how far away I am. I'm pretty far. So I am not super flexible, my hamstrings. And I have a runny nose because I just got out of hot yoga. I'm not sick. Okay, here we go. So my forehead's a little far, so I'll show you a little trick of what to do. So my forehead's pretty far. I'm keeping my eyes forward towards the ground. But what I'm gonna do is open up my legs as much as I need to get my forehead on the floor. Now again, in this posture, you also want to think shoulders away from your ears, stomach sucked in as much as possible, knees locked, and thighs contracted. Relax everything else. I know it's a lot to remember, but if you can, think of your spine as like you're pulling against your legs, and your legs are straight, and your spine is like a canvas, like a canvas on a, where you're like gonna paint on. So you're stretching the canvas against the wooden border. So that's kind of a good way of thinking about it. The canvas is flexible and stretchy, and you want to pull it nice and tight against the boards, and your board is the legs. So you really want to pull. And getting your forehead to touch the floor as much as possible. You're really gonna feel it in the back of the legs, it's very intense. But that is such a good posture to do. Next, you wanna take a break. You wanna do those 30 seconds on, 30 seconds off. You're gonna get better and better. Remember, if your head is touching the floor, shorten up your stance. I know some girls that, basically can put their forehead on the floor with their legs touching. And if your head is not touching, nowhere close, open up your legs as much as possible. If you're really inflexible, what you can do to start with, again, locking the knees, stomach in, is putting your hands on the floor, and that's gonna help you slowly bring your head down to the floor at your own pace, but you're gonna use your hands instead of pulling your heels with your feet. That's what I have for you guys tonight. I hope it was well received. I hope you guys can do it at home. Just set up a nice space, somewhere with little dim lighting, preferably a place to put your yoga mat if you tend to be cold, or you can lay down a blanket on your yoga mat. So stretch out your hamstrings. That is the first step to taking control of your lower back pain. And tomorrow I'll show you some interesting moves that you can do with strengthening your pelvic area that's going to help support your lower spine. All right, guys, have a great night, and I'll talk to you soon.